Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay, so now we're moving on to BlueJ.
What a good average.
What a good
83.
an 83. Yeah,
That is a C. The average at a C.
an 83 is not a C.
It is at Lawrence.
It is at Lawrence. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
No, I thought a C was like an
84 and above is B.
I know 84 to 92 is a B. 92 to 100 is an F.
So you guys don't have like plus minus or anything?
No,
Oh no, we do have plus and minuses, but that ranges from if you get like a 92, that's like an A minus.
That's
Like the leniency for pluses and minuses is like the first two of each letter grade and the last two. I understand that.
that's weird.
That's nice.
Anyways, we're already 50 seconds in here, so let's keep going.
Are you recording or?
Yes, I am now. So we're gonna go over BlueJ a little bit just to familiarize you guys with how this is going to work. BlueJ is a development environment for Java. It's actually one of the development environments that I learned with. And if you ever get the opportunity to take a true to life AP Computer Science course before your high school career is over, this is more than likely what they will use. Which technically you all do have the opportunity, if you wanted to take an AP course, you probably could through Messalonsky. I have seen that happen before. It's rare, but it does happen. And of course, your school doesn't offer it. So, but the reason why I decided to use BlueJ for this is because BlueJ is a much more simplified interface when compared to Eclipse. Eclipse has a lot going on, and while that does make Eclipse very powerful, it can often lead to some confusion when dealing with beginner programmers. So I'm basically just going to take you guys step by step through how to create a new project with BlueJ and how to create a new place to write code in the project, and give you a little rendition of what a very short program, it's called the Hello World program, would look like. And you can sort of use this as a template when you go to do your assignment later, and this will help us segue into the actual programming content that we're going to do today. So creating a new project is fairly straightforward. In fact, it even tells you right on the screen. The people watching the video can actually see me clicking because I have mouse click events turned on, so it pulses blue when I click. Not what you see, but what people in the video see, it does. It says use the project menu to create or open a project. So if we click on the project menu and we click create new project, we can give our project a name and pick a place to save it. I'm just going to call this Hello World. I am not going to save this to my username directory. I'm actually going to pick my desktop. BlueJ will create a folder, or at least it should. It should create a folder for the project that you create, and it will dump all the files that it needs into that folder. I would recommend keeping all of your projects in one easy to access location. That way you know where they are and you don't have to go digging for them. It will make it easier when you go to turn stuff into me in the long run. So I'm going to click OK, and my window resized, and of course Bandicam destroyed my desktop background again. And you'll see that the window didn't change too much. One of the buttons became active. There's a little piece of paper here that we won't make use of at all. and the text inside has changed. It says use the edit menu to create or add a new class. We won't talk much about what a class is for several weeks. But we do need to create one in order to be able to write code. So you can actually click on the new class button in the upper left hand corner of your screen, and that will open up a window. Now, much of what we will be doing in this class is already set up for you when this window is open. You don't need to mess with these buttons. You don't need to mess with these buttons. In fact, we will never use these buttons. We will always have Java checked off. But you will always have to give your class some name. Now, for the next several weeks, probably the easiest thing for you to do is to just call your class main. You can call it really whatever you want. We'll talk a little bit more about what is acceptable for class names later. But main is a good one to stick with just because it's very difficult to break. And if you did try to use a character that BlueJ doesn't like punctuation or something, it will tell you it's not a valid class name and you'll have to clean it up. What? Emoji. Yeah, it won't let you use emoji. But if we click OK, what we'll see is we will have the word, a new box pop up that says main, and you can click and drag and move it around, whatever you want to do. And if we right click on it and click open editor, what it will do is it will open a new BlueJ editor window. Now, BlueJ does its best to sort of help you through the process. Apparently that window is not going to expand correctly, which is very interesting. Oh, BlueJ. Okay, well, never mind about the whole expansion thing. My installation of BlueJ is apparently very, very glitchy. What you'll see is BlueJ sort of helps you try to build out your class a little bit and do some of the work for you. But in this instance, what BlueJ actually gives us isn't super helpful. So what you actually want to do is from the bottom of the yellowmost box, you're going to want to go all the way up so that, oh, there, it redrew. Okay. Good gosh. Nothing can ever go right just the first time, can it?
So basically you're just plugging everything in yellow.
Basically, you'll want your window to look like this. It'll have a little bit of text at the top that we'll talk about here in a few minutes, and then you'll have the words public class main and then a set of brackets. Now, in order to actually be able to start writing code, we have to add something. We actually have to add something called the main method. The main method is where our program starts running from. This is where Java actually reaches out and says, I want to start from here, run whatever is in this block of code.
Does anyone make notes on this?
You might have LibreOffice. Windows key? Windows key. Left of Alt. Left of Alt. It didn't do anything. That's interesting. Alright, where's your mouse? Can't see it. Oh, that would be why. Okay. Uno momento. You'll have to use sticky notes for now. We'll install something on your machine to fix that in a few minutes. Okay.
So how important is it when compiling? How important is it that you have those little squiggly?
Very important. Back to what we were doing. This is this is where we need to actually start building out how this is supposed to look. So we need to create a main method where our program will start running from. Your main method is going to look exactly the same for every single program. You could change the name of your main method, but there's really no sense to it. So your main method is always going to look like this. Public, static, void, main, string, square brackets, args, and then curly brackets. And when it's all said and done, it should make a yellow box for you if you formatted everything correctly. Yes, apologies. You have to, the piece that is string, square brackets, args has to be surrounded in parentheses. This is known as a parameter. We'll talk about parameters when we get to talking about actual methods and what they're for and what they do. This is the part about Java that's kind of a pain, is you can't just sort of jump in. There are bits and pieces here and there that have to be known but not necessarily completely understood in order to be able to actually start programming. It's one thing that catches some people when they first start programming, but for the most part, it works itself out after you see a couple of examples of it. But public, static, void, main, open parentheses, string, square brackets, args, close parenthesis, and then underneath all that you put curly brackets. One opening curly bracket, one closing curly bracket.
And you have to create space in between that.
You don't have to, but you will be writing code between those spaces. In that space between the brackets.
Square bracket, space, and another square bracket.
Well, curly brackets.
Okay. How do you do a curly bracket?
What?
Oh, never mind. Got it.
Like that.
No, that's a. You need to put a no. You need a closing parenthesis. Remember? It's like math. There you go.
It's just shift here, here.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you there, Tyler? Yeah, you look to be there. Or do you not have BlueJ open? Oh, you're running. You're running. Tyler.
I was just doing notes. I don't know what I was supposed to be writing for them.
Well, you don't have to be, but you could follow along in BlueJ if you found it easier.
Yeah. I was just writing notes. I thought we were just watching you guys.
No. You can follow along in BlueJ if you want. You can just click through that. Just click yeah.
Oh, I was just waiting for the notes.
Oh, well, that's fine too. Whatever works. We'll be pausing here in a few minutes, anyways, because this shouldn't take too much longer.
So what does the void mean?
That's something we'll talk about when we get to. No, you're fine. It's a fine question. Don't be sorry to ask a question. It's just it's not something that we're not there yet. I believe that's week 5 or 6. You just can't use spaces, Tyler.
Oh,
Just click OK.
I see that now. I see it.
And then new class, and then just call it main.
I just didn't know how to spell that.
And then right click on it. And then open the editor. And now delete all that yellow junk. Delete more. Yep, you can delete from this gray text down. And then put a hang on, I'm gonna fix this over here. Now put a space between those curly brackets. No, I mean like separate them, like a return. There you go. and then you public static, not status.
Oh.
I maybe need to. Let me make a quick adjustment to something here.
Got an idea that might help everyone looking at it because it's kind of hard to read. Change it to 125% scale.
Actually, I've just modified my font size. If you look back at the window,
Wow. That's a lot bigger than wow. That's huge.
so these are supposed to be curly brackets, not parentheses. So these things right here, these ones right here, you hold shift and then you tap them.
Let me see why I can like programs.
Oops.
So where's the string that you have those two square parentheses things? You supposed to put a space and you type in R parentheses or?
Yes. That's best practice, anyways. All right. Are you guys all set? All up to speed here? Okay. So, for the most part, we're not going to talk about what public static void main string array args, which those square brackets mean array. I can't believe I said that. Oh my god. We'll talk about that when we actually come to methods. Just know that this is the starting point for your programs. What are you two doing? This is the starting point for your programs. This is where everything will run from. That being said, I'm just going to add a line of code here. And what it's going to do is it's going to print the words hello world to the console. And what I'm going to do is, as you can see, which because I moved the box, I've made my life more difficult. As you can see, my box has changed a little bit. This means that my code is not yet compiled. In order for me to be able to do something with this, I have to push my compile button. So I'm going to push compile, and you'll see down at the bottom of the window it will say compiling done, and at the bottom of the editor window it will say class compiled, no syntax errors. And what we can do is we can right click on the box that says main, and we'll see an entry that says void main string args. Okay? If we click on that and then push OK, where's the console window? There it is. It didn't grow, and now there we go. If we expand the console window a little bit and actually make it grow, we'll see that it printed hello world to the console. How are we doing?
Source code?
Say that again.
Wait, what do I do now? Take a power.
Okay, you're missing semicolon. See? Tyler, what? Okay. No, Tyler. Look, BlueJay's trying to help you here. You see what it says? You see what's in the little? It's a semicolon. At the end of every line, which we'll talk about this in a minute, you have to have.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to click that so you got on that.
Okay. Oh, you're trying to get this to move down one?
No, it's fine.
It's like you can do that, and then come over here. Like this. Okay.
Brad broke things.
Okay. Resize the window. There you go. can't actually see what you did.
Wait, are you guys actually doing this or?
System.out.println. Cannot find symbol. Oh, print line, not print one N.
Hey Brad, what do you do after you compile?
You right click on the box that says main, and the second entry down should say void main string args. What does it say? Close?
Yeah.
What? Okay. We're gonna pause for a minute. So I've got one hunter to the right of me that's typing dank memes, and I've got the other hunter over there who typed in a name which I assume is probably his gamer tag. So we're getting there. So this was not to familiarize you guys with system.out.println. That comes next. This is just sort of to get you familiar with BlueJ. Now, guys, pay attention, because now we're going to talk about what you guys are going to have to do to turn in your assignments. When you turn in an assignment, you will have the option to either email it to me, send it to me on Facebook, or we can take it off your computer when you come to class. But it does need to come to me in a particular format. So, mainly because I don't want a whole bunch of folders everywhere with all kinds of different people's stuff. So, I'm going to minimize all of my windows here so I can see what I'm doing. Mind the black background because, yes, you did it. Remind me later. I've closed everything out here, and you can see that I have the folder Hello World here, which is my project name for BlueJ. And inside that you can see a couple of different little pieces here of the actual project. We won't talk about that too much. I want to show you guys what I need you to do when you go to turn in an assignment. You need to do it this way. It is the only way I am going to be able to keep track of all of you guys' stuff. Otherwise, it's going to get too much too quickly. But it is very easy. When you are ready to turn in your assignment, when you think it is done, you right-click on the folder, okay? Everyone should have... Oh God, my computer is broken. Don't use the Share With menu. Use the Send To menu, okay? Something's wrong with my Share With list. But anyways, use the Send To menu and select Compressed Zipped Folder. It should only take an instant. And you will see, it will look a little different than mine, but you'll see something pop up that you can change the name of. Okay?
Wait.
Yeah, WinRAR.
So what do we do?
You right-click on your actual project folder, wherever you saved it to.
I don't know what you see.
You just saved. So then click on the folders on the bottom of your screen, and then click on. Okay, we're gonna pause again for a minute while I get Tyler caught up here. Okay, it is obvious to me that I'm going to have to sit down and do a little bit of an explanation about how computer file systems work. But we're not going to do that at this particular moment. We're gonna keep moving forward here. So, that being said, I have to right-click on mine and click Rename now. But the way I want you to be labeling these folders is with your name and then the word assignment and then the assignment number. Now this doesn't really have an assignment number, so I'm just gonna say 200. And then you can just tap enter and it will lock in. Okay? And that's how you need to be formatting what you're turning into me. That will help me keep track of where stuff is going.
So where do you want a number? Any number?
Any number right now. When you have an actual assignment, that assignment will have a number. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I want for the number. Don't turn in an assignment with the assignment number of 1036. That's not an assignment number.
Well, how many times are you giving us?
This class has 10 or 11.
So just sign
Assignment number 1337.
So just hit enter.
Tyler assignment.
Oh, 2?
Whatever, 200. It doesn't matter at this point. This isn't actually an assignment.
Okay, so we do that.
And then once you do that, you can email it to me, you can send it to me on Facebook, you can wait until the next class and we'll pull it off with a flash drive, whatever is easiest for you. If it's ready to be turned in at class time, you won't lose any points. If you decide to turn it in super early, what have you, you won't lose any points. It's to your discretion, whatever you want to do. But it's your responsibility to make sure it's packaged up the right way so that when you go to turn it in, it gets turned in the right way. That being said, after some technical glitches with BlueJ and trying to get everybody up to speed here, how are we doing? Are we feeling okay?
I've been learning.
I feel great.
I'm learning.
I make love.
You're McLovin' it. Okay. So that's that. I don't know how to feel about that.
Go back to the car.
So we're probably gonna stop this video, take a few minutes of break. Probably what we'll do this week is, regardless of who can stay, I will make an extra short little video that explains how the Windows file system works, and it will be marked as an extra that will be included in this week's videos that you can choose to watch at your own leisure if you think it will help you. What?
Does that need extra credit?
I'm not going to write up an assignment that tests you on the Windows file system. That would take too much effort on my part. So, we're going to stop this video, take a breather, and we'll move on here in a few minutes.